am coming to you live from quarantine. Well, kind of. I'm an essential employee, so I'm still allowed to work places, at least by Pennsylvania law. But there's not terribly a lot else to do. Doesn't really affect my life too much. I'm just working on this anyway. But parts are taking a while to get here. Things I ordered like 2 weeks ago still haven't shown up. They're shipped. They're somewhere places. So I'm kind of running out of things to do with the parts that I have sitting here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to patch up the holes in the floor where the manual shifter was. Well, actually it's a whole like trans tunnel hump that unbolts on this where the shifter used to go. And then there's a hole in the floor too where the clutch, the rod went through to activate the clutch from the pedal. And once I do that, then I'll be able to mount maybe like the TAC module on the ECU. I'm still kind of waiting on to see where the air conditioning goes, but at least I can get something done this weekend. So I figure I'll show you that. So here's what I'm trying to replicate. This hump went over the giant hole in the floor above the transmission. Now this truck originally had a solid floor across. This was originally a 3-speed on the column truck. It was manual, but the shifter was column mounted, not floor mounted. So I'm assuming this truck would have been like the automatic where it just had a solid floor. Manual trucks had this hump that unbolted, making it easier to move the transmission, get in there, all that stuff. The transmissions that were in these trucks were pretty heavy, at least the 4-speed manuals were. They're a big cast iron unit, so it's not real fun to drop down. So when they made this thing floor shift, or rather when they swapped in the 4-speed trans that was in it, they put this in it, which is obviously from a junkyard. So now I got to patch that hole up. So I thought I was being clever, and I went up to the junkyard and cut this floor out of a Suburban. I don't know, like 80s. You can see it's nearly rust-free. Believe it or not, this was about the best the junkyard had to offer. Also, believe it or not, this is nothing like the floor of the truck. So I would have assumed that Suburban and Blazer and truck floors, like at least the trans hump would be kind of similar, and it's not even close. So I'm gonna have to make one completely from scratch using sheet metal. So now I get to try out my like hardcore fabrication skills here. The good thing is I can just cover it with carpet or floor mat when it looks like complete trash. So I acquired this nice big sheet of metal here. I'm sure it's a lot bigger than what I'll need. What I'm probably gonna do is just fold these like flats into it, and then it bumps up here like maybe an inch and then goes flat across. I'm gonna try and do that and just like eliminate this whole part where it humps up here. So it'll come up to here and hopefully just go straight across. I don't know what I'm gonna do up with the front yet. That's gonna be like more advanced. Maybe a piece of that blue one will work there. But that's the game plan here. It's probably just time for a montage.
Shut up and sit down.
here's what I created. It probably looks better on camera than it actually is. But I punched holes in here. I'm not going to spot weld it. I actually think I'm going to run screws into it. So this is removable because it was pretty easy putting the transmission in there, having this like not there. So I figure in the future, if my $50 untested transmission blows, having this removable would be pretty nice. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in now. I got some weather stripping. It's like that stuff you put on truck caps between your bed and your cap. I'm gonna put on here around and pound the screws right through the insulation and put it onto the floor. So hopefully it still fits good now that I finish welded it and painted it. See how bad it warped. Here's the completed product. You can see it got a little wavy there once I screwed it down, but not really too bad. The foam takes up for it. I mean, it's not too bad seeing how I fabricated it with my hands in a vise and welded it together. So it fits pretty good, and it's removable in case I have to mess with the transmission or anything else in that area. I also made that little block-off plate there because that's where the clutch rod used to go from the pedal down to the Z-bar under the truck. That had like a, I don't know, 1 inch or 1.5 inch diameter hole there. So it was big enough where I had to cover the plate. Same thing, I didn't weld it up. It's removable, like just in case I lose my mind when I make this truck manual again. And not have it be a hydraulic clutch, I would have really lost my mind. So my whole goal here is to try and do things so I don't have to redo them. That's why the wiring is kind of still laying all around terribly because I haven't ran everything. I just want to like run the wiring once, not to tear it apart twice. So I'm getting ready to put the air conditioning back in it. You can see the whole climate control box is out of it. But then I thought, like, hey, I'm going to lose access to switch out this radio and speaker. I know what you're thinking, like, why would I want to lose this awesome AM radio? But I got a solution that doesn't require cutting the dash, which I'm completely morally against. So, well, morally against is cutting that dash in these trucks. People do it all the time, and it just, I don't know, bothers me. But you can just fix it properly instead of sawzawing a hole in your expensive square body dash. Because now these stupid gauge surrounds, these bezels are like $150 and up. People are just hacking them up. And then I got a solution for the speaker too. So while I can get to this stuff like really easily, I think I'll change that now. So yeah, that's all for this video. So next up is going to be sound system. I know it's strange coming from me, so normally I just deal with whatever works in the truck, but can't deal with an AM. And then air conditioning. And then, I don't know, I think the truck's like pretty much done. Except for unforeseen things that I haven't, had break on me yet until the first test drive. So yeah, see you in the next video.